There was a lustful king who was so cunning that whenever he saw a beautiful woman or girl in the city, he would use his power to obtain her. One day the king organized a grand celebration for his son's birthday, inviting all the people of the city. The king's most trusted minister also arrived with his wife to attend the celebration. When the king saw the minister's wife, he was completely captivated. He had never seen such a beautiful woman before. The celebration ended and everyone returned home, but the king lost his peace. He kept thinking about the minister's wife. That night the king could not sleep. He spent the entire night tossing and turning, thinking of ways to possess the minister's wife. Finally, an idea struck him. As soon as morning arrived, he summoned the minister and handed him a letter, instructing him to deliver it to a distant kingdom. The minister agreed without suspicion and informed his wife before leaving. The king, eager to execute his plan, grew impatient, waiting for the minister to depart. Once he was certain that the minister had left, he dressed in fine perfumes and rode his royal horse toward the minister's house. When the king arrived at the minister's home, the minister's wife, whose name was Kapala, was sitting in the courtyard drying her wet hair after a bath. As soon as she saw the king, she immediately stood up and greeted him, saying, "Hail, Maharaj, what brings you here today?" The king raised his hand to acknowledge her greeting and replied, "Nothing special. I was passing by and thought I should check on my loyal minister's household to see if everything is fine." The wise and virtuous Kapala had already sensed the king's intentions as soon as he entered. She welcomed him with honor and served him delicious meals. But the king had not come just to eat. After having some food, he revealed his intentions by praising her beauty, saying, "I have never seen a woman as beautiful as you in my entire life." Kapala, being intelligent and devoted to her husband, had already figured out the king's plan. She understood that the king had intentionally sent her husband away to trap her. She replied, "Maharaj, let me ask you something. A lion is the king of the jungle, but does it befit a lion to eat rotten food or indulge in filth? When the one who delivers justice turns to injustice, where will the people seek justice? Maharaj, it does not suit you to say such things to your minister's wife." The king, hearing such wise and eye-opening words from Kapala, felt deeply ashamed of himself. Regret overwhelmed him. Meanwhile, the minister, who had only traveled a short distance, suddenly realized that he had forgotten the king's letter at home. He immediately turned his horse around and raced back. As he arrived at his house and saw the king's horse outside, the ground beneath his feet seemed to disappear. He instantly understood everything and imagined that his wife was being unfaithful with the king. Though burning with anger, he suppressed his rage, silently took the letter, and left without confronting anyone. He then resumed his journey and delivered the letter to its destination. Upon completing his task, the minister returned to the king's court. The king, feeling guilty, rewarded the minister with a great number of jewels and gems. The minister took all of them and gave them to his wife. Surprised, Kapala asked, "Where did you get all this from?" The minister replied, "The king gifted these to me, and I have sent you back to your parental home as well." Time passed, but the minister never inquired about his wife, nor attempted to bring her back. After a long time, Kapala's brothers finally approached the minister and asked why he had not taken her back. The minister replied, "I have fulfilled all my responsibilities towards her. She is no longer my concern." Hearing this, Kapala's brothers took the matter to the king and complained against the minister. The king immediately summoned the minister to his court. Kapala's brothers said to the king, "Maharaj, we entrusted him with a lush and flourishing garden, full of blooming flowers and a well brimming with sweet water. But this man standing before you has destroyed our beautiful garden, consumed all its fruits, and even polluted the well." The king turned to the minister and asked, "Is this true? Do you have anything to say in your defense?" The minister calmly replied, "Maharaj, the garden was returned to them in even better condition than I had received it." The king then asked Kapala's brothers, "Is it true that the garden is unharmed?" They admitted, "Yes, Maharaj, the garden is intact, but we want to know why he abandoned it." The king then asked the minister for his reason. The minister replied, "Maharaj, it is neither jealousy nor resentment that made me return the garden. One day when I went to my garden, I saw the footprints of a lion. I feared that the lion might attack me too, so I decided to stay away from the garden." The king listened carefully and then stood up from his throne, saying, "Wow, Minister, go back to your garden without fear. There is no doubt that a lion did enter your garden, but he neither harmed the garden nor plucked a single leaf or ate any fruit. The lion stayed for a while and then left in disappointment. I swear by the Almighty, I have never seen a stronger wall protecting a garden than yours. After hearing the king's words, the minister immediately went to his in-laws' house and brought his wife Kapala back home. The entire matter was resolved without tarnishing Kapala's dignity, and no one in the court understood what had truly happened. For more such stories, subscribe to the channel and stay connected. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.